What if we did something completely different in the next 90 days? While most of people will coast through Q4 and enjoy the holidays, what if we put together bulletproof leadership systems in place that we can show up as great leaders, even on our worst days? Here's the 90-day Winter Arc framework for leaders. The Winter Arc for leaders has 5 pillars and is quite important to really try and do all 5. Even though they seem independent, they each address a certain critical aspect of leadership. Let's start with foundation. Your leadership right now is probably reactive, right? You go from back-to-back meetings to putting out fires, and you might wonder sometimes at the end of the day, what did I even achieve today? That ends now. With the system 1, we're going to put together morning ritual, which is basically 3 simple questions that you're going to write down on a piece of paper before you open your mailbox. And those are: number 1, what are the 3 top priorities that I have for my team today? Number 2 is that how can I develop my team today? And number 3 is that what's that one thing that will make it a win today? I can tell you, since I started to put this process in place, my days has become so systematic and organized, and I exactly know what I'm achieving at the end of the day and what's my plan for the day after. Now, the next system is more around behaviors. And again, I would write them down just as a compass to have right beside my laptop. And these are the behaviors that you want to remind yourself throughout the day. That would be 1 meaningful one-on-one conversation, 1 piece of a specific helpful feedback. It would be 1 strategic decision that I don't defer, and it would be 1 coaching moment instead of solving for the team. And the last one is the end of day ritual. You basically just gonna go through the first 2 systems that we put in place, those notebooks. We'll do a very quick review, and if there is something that you wanna do it better tomorrow, you just write it down, and that reminds you if there was an item that was a priority and for whatever reason you couldn't do it today, it will move to the day after. If there was a behavior that you didn't really follow and you really want to focus on, you will add that and probably highlight it so you know that you want to emphasize on that specific behavior tomorrow. Here's what nobody tells you about leadership. Your body is the foundation of leadership. If you're exhausted, you're not going to be present in your one-on-ones. If you're stressed, you're going to make terrible decisions. Plus, you're going to snap at people. So when it comes to this specific pillar, there's the physical health, there's the system 2, which is mental health. And then I have a system 3, which is really impacting both 1 and 2. So we're going to talk about that separately. The physical health is what we all know. We all know that we need to move. We need to work out at least 30 minutes a day. Even on the days that we can't do 30 minutes workout, try to walk when you have your one-on-ones. Try to have stretches between your meetings and just try to move around, even if it's like 10 steps at a time, rather than sitting on your desk all day glued. That would really deteriorate both your mental health as well as like your body is going to be so stiff and painful at the end of the day. And then the other one is fuel. Similarly, I'm not going to go through so many different diets to focus on protein and do this and eat that. The one thing that we all know that we shouldn't do is that we cannot run our bodies on coffee and stress and junk food, which we could easily fall into, especially on those days when it's chaotic. So try to have your food ready in the fridge, ready in your bag, so you don't switch to junk food the moment the stress is really high. The second system is mental health. In countries like Canada, having a therapist is usually covered by a lot of companies. So make sure that you understand your policies and try to take advantage of that. And even if you can't go to therapists, even just few sessions would really help to just understand yourself and what are the things that triggers you. Beyond that, which is more fundamental, some of the things that you can do just throughout the day is try to have 10 minutes of stillness when you're having your coffee or during your lunch break. At the very least, try to have 3 deep breaths before the meetings that you know you're going to be stressed out, or after a stressful conversation, just to calm yourself down. And here's the thing I've learned through 20 plus years of leadership. The best decisions come from a calm mind, not a frantic one. And the last system is sleep, like your career depends on it, because it does. It impacts both your physical as well as your mental health. Try to have 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Try to have a sleep hygiene, which is basically make sure you wake up, especially at the same time every day, including weekends. try to sleep at the same time, try to sleep in a dark, cold room, and all of those good stuff. And this is so key for a day of when you're energetic rather than you're really tired and grumpy. Here's the truth. Most leadership problems are communication problems. Your team doesn't execute because they don't understand the why. Your boss probably doesn't promote you because you have not articulated your impact, and your peers don't collaborate with you because you haven't learned how to influence without authority. So this pillar is just one system, and that's basically practice our communication on a daily basis. Now we're going to divide this 90 days to 3 periods of the first month, second month, and the third month, and then we're going to focus on a specific communication skills each period. The first period, which is week 1 to 4, we're going to practice active listening, which is so key for leadership. In every conversation, practice asking one more question before solving. Then you want to repeat back the last 2 to 3 words that you heard, which is called mirroring. Then you want to pause 3 seconds before responding. And then most importantly, track it. Try to rate yourself every day from 1 to 10. If I want to rate myself, what would I give to myself for my active listening today? And it might be different from meeting to meeting, but it just helps you to reflect. And then on the day after, to focus on the area of weakness. The second month, we're going to focus on clarity and brevity. And basically the purpose is to focus on a structured communication as well as be to the point and remove any fluff. For this one, we're going to leverage a method that's called BLUF, bottom line, upfront. And I suggest that you start it in your writing, first of all, and practice it there because it's just easier. And then make sure that you expand it to verbal. And when you're talking, to be mindful to follow that structure. So here's how it works. State your point in the first sentence. Then you're going to provide context, and then you explain the reasoning. And the last month is the most difficult month. You're going to have difficult conversations. Every week, you pick one person. You don't have to be the low performers. It could be really a high performer that have one weakness that could move them from a manager to leader or a good employee to a great employee, but you've been avoiding that conversation because you don't want to demotivate them. So this month, we're going to put on our girls and boys pants, and we will focus on having those conversations. This is a framework that I use, generally speaking, but it could be different from person to person. I've noticed a specific behavior. Here's the impact it's having on the team or on the project or on your goals. What's going on? Help me understand. And here's what needs to be changed. And most importantly, at the end, you want to make sure that they know that they have your support. You're not just there to dump some feedback on people. You're there to support them if they need training, if they need mentorship, if they need how to, but they know that they have your support. All right, let's move on to the next pillar, which is emotional intelligence and empathy. This is where good managers become great leaders. Technical skill sets get you promoted to become a manager, but emotional intelligence and empathy gets you promoted to become an executive. So in this one, we're going to go through 3 systems. The first one is every morning, you're going to have a check-in of yourself. How am I feeling right now? What's triggering me today? And what energy am I bringing to the team? Self-awareness is the foundation of emotional intelligence. Now, the second system is where you want to practice your emotional intelligence throughout the day. In every one-on-one, try to ask at least one of these questions. How are you really doing? What's the hardest part of your week? What's making you feel energized or drained this week? How can I better support you? And then listen. Don't fix. Ask one more question. Let the team to open up and speak to you. Now, the last system is evening reflections. At the end of the day, try to write these 3 questions down. When did I respond with empathy today? When did I react instead of respond? And most importantly, what will I do differently tomorrow? Here's what I've seen most of leaders, including myself, do not successfully. And that's we become really motivated and it's New Year resolution and we're like, I'm going to be better at the strategy and I'm going to be better at vision and I'm going to be better at execution. And then we try to tackle everything at once and we achieve nothing. So in the next 90 days, we're going to leverage something else. There are multiple leadership skills. We're going to pick only one out of them and we're going to practice it in the next 90 days. So some of my favorite leadership skills are strategic thinking, delegation, influence without authority, coaching, decision making. There are more skills that you can focus on, but these are some of the most high impact leadership skills that you would require to know. After you pick one skill and commit for the next 90 days, we're going to go through a step 2, which is leveraging the micro practice approach. I'm guessing most of you wouldn't have time to go through hours and hours of training. Instead, what we're going to do, we're going to spend 15 minutes, especially in the first few weeks, to learn about the foundation of that speak. So in the first 2 to 4 weeks, depending on how familiar you are with that skill set, we want to spend 15 minutes either listening to a podcast or reading an article, and you can leverage your commute time, your lunch break, your morning coffee time to learn more about that skill. And then after you feel that you're fairly comfortable with that skill and some of the systems on how to put that skill in practice, then in the remaining of the weeks, on a daily basis, you want to practice that specific skill. So if it's delegation, every day, before you take on a task and start creating a presentation or responding to an email, you would ask yourself, is this something that I can delegate to my team, or is this something that I have to do it myself? So that way, you, by the end of 90 days, you practice whatever skill you're selecting over 65 times, and it would make it a habit by then. And those small, consistent steps that you're making every day, it's gonna compound. And the success would look like at the end of this 90 days as someone in your team probably gonna provide and comment, I noticed that you ask better question. Oh wow, you've been empowering me because you've been delegating more, perhaps. So the team feels that, they're learning something new as well. By March, you won't be just a good manager. You will be a great leader that shows up with clarity. And I know that we talked about so many things here. That's why I put together a free 90 days winter arc tracker with all the reflection prompts and all the systems built in. You can download it for free. Link is in description. And if you're looking to learn more about some of the skill sets that are high impact for leaders, watch this next video.